Hello there, this is Barb with barbstamps.com, and I've got another Barb Stamps video for you guys today. We're going to be using the Merry Patterns stamp set. This is a stamp set that can be earned in September and October of 2017 with the purchase or party total of $300. That's in the US. If you order $300 on your own, you will get this stamp set. If you host a party, book party, Facebook party, catalog party, any kind of party, with a party total of $300, you will get this stamp set. It cannot be purchased, it must be earned. So we are going to be using it today to make this card, and I'm going to show you how to use the Ruffled Folder to create snow. So let's get started here. I'm going to start out making my card base. I'm going to use my thick Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to score the cardstock. This is a full sheet. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. Get my cutting blade out of the way. All right, so I score the whole sheet, and then I go ahead and cut. So I'm going to cut it in half. That's 5 1/2. Okay, and now I have 2 pieces, and of course I only need 1 for my card. We're going to fold that to make our card base. Bone folder here, give that a nice crisp fold, and I'm going to set that aside. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on creating the snow. We're going to use our Ruffled Dynamic Textured Impressions Embossing Folder. It is one of our 3D thicker folders. You can see how thick that one is. And here for comparison, I have a regular embossing folder. So it is quite a bit thicker. So you do get a deeper, more pronounced impression with these folders. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of Whisper White. This is just kind of a scrap. And we're going to run it through the Big Shot. So let me get the Big Shot. All right, I've got the Big Shot here. I've got my Big Shot platform. And the platform shows you on the diagram here that if you're using a 3D dynamic folder, you don't need 2 cutting pads. You only need 1. So I've got my 1 cutting pad here. So we're going to insert the paper into the folder. Close it. We're going to lay it on the platform so that the hinge goes in first, and we're going to run it through the Big Shot. Okay, and there we have our really cool snowy pattern. But what we're going to do is I want the snow to be a little bit, the lines to be a little closer together. So I'm going to run it through again, but I'm going to offset it this time. So I'm going to put it back in the folder, and I can see through the folder where I already did it. So I'm going to go halfway between. I'm hoping that's showing up. So like my original line is right here. So I'm putting it up here. So it's the new lines are going to be between those two. Lay it back on the Big Shot, fold hinge first, and let's make sure that's nice and lined up there. Boy, I'm making a lot of noise, am I not? All right, let's get the Big Shot out of the way. Sorry for the glare. Here's our piece of paper. Okay, so now you can see that we have like ripply lines a lot closer together. So what I want to do with this is I want to use some paper snips, and I'm going to trim off some of this because this is too much. I don't need all this for my snow. I only need just a few ripples here. All right, so I'm just going to cut along this line that was created by the folder and the Big Shot. So I'm just following that with my paper snips here. Okay, so I've got that piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue to these wavy lines, and then I'm going to add some glitter to them. So let me get the glue and the glitter. Here's my glue. It's our fine tip glue pen. And then I use our Dazzling Diamonds glitter, and I like to keep it in a Tupperware container. So I only use this for glitter, obviously. All right, so I'm going to take the lid off of the glue, pull the little pin out, and then I'm just going to squeeze some glue so that the glue follows along my snow line here. I'm going to repeat that on all 3 of these lines. Okay, I got the glue on there. Now I'm just going to scoop up some of the glitter with my little fancy Baskin-Robbins tester spoon here. Actually, I don't think it's Baskin-Robbins. I think their spoons are pink. Tap off the excess glitter. And there we have our super glittery snowbanks. All right, we're done with that piece. We're going to set that aside, and I'm going to clean up this mess. All right, got a piece of white cardstock here that measures 2 3/4 by 4. I've got it placed on top of my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I like to use a dark piece of cardstock so that I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to use the bold detailed image first, so I'm going to ink that up in Old Olive. Here he is. And we'll just tap, 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 get him inked up. And I'm going to stamp him kind of up here in the top left. All right. And then I'm going to bring my detailed stamp in here, this guy right here. And I'm going to ink that up in our Memento black. All right. We're going to drop it right down on top of this guy here. I'm going to have to get in a little close. Hopefully you won't see my head. Just press that down. And there we have it. So we've got that nice detailed going around the deer in black, and we've got the deer. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our glitter piece, and we're going to just kind of eyeball it where we think we might want to put it. And I'm going to bring in my liquid glue here. I'm just going to kind of scribble some liquid glue on there, maybe a little bit on this piece as well. And then I'm just going to kind of drop that. I don't want him completely covered in snow, but enough that he's in the snow, you know what I'm saying. All right, so you can see we've got quite a bit of excess here, no problem at all. We're just going to cut that off. Grab some scissors here. Okay, oops, I'm going to cut around the whole thing. Oop. Butterfingers. All right, and there we have our glitter piece. Clean this mess up, be right back. All right, while I was gone, I realized that I had measured this wrong. I told you guys it was 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. It's 2 3/4 by 4. So I did cut a 1/4 inch off the bottom there. All right, so now we can assemble this whole thing. So we've got our card base. We have our piece of basic black, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to put that right here on the front. Okay. And then I've got a 3 by 4 1/4 piece of patterned paper, designer series paper from the Quilted Christmas designer series paper stack. There's a lot of fun patterns in here. I thought this kind of dotted stripe piece would look great. So I'm going to add some glue to this guy here. Oh, wait, before I do that, I've got to get some ribbon on here. So I'm going to be using our Quilted Christmas ribbon. This is really cool. It's kind of real red, garden green, and white. Wouldn't you know it, I would stick that on there, and now I can't get it off. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my ribbon through the inside of the card, and I'm going to bring it to the front, and then I'm going to stick it down with some fast fuse. All right, so we want it to be about here, so I'm just going to run a little bit of fast fuse right there, and a little bit of fast fuse right there. So we're going to bring this ribbon over the top, stick it onto the fast fuse, give it a little tug, bring it up the bottom, and again, stick it onto the fast fuse. Now we can bring in our piece of patterned paper, and we're going to just kind of lay it, kind of cattywampus a little bit, about like so. And then we've got this piece here that we're going to use some dimensionals on. I'm going to use 5 dimensionals, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. Okay, and then you do use your fingernail. If you press into those dimensionals with your nail, then they will come off a little bit easier. Of course, if you have fingernails, that's always helpful. I don't. All right. Carry that over, and then we'll just kind of put this the other way, so it's also a little bit cattywampus. Press those down. And then I'm also going to tie a little bow with this ribbon, and I'll do it on camera here for you so you can see how I do it. I take the ribbon and I just kind of make one loop, follow the ribbon along itself, creating another loop, and then I just bring the first loop over the second loop and bring it through. And then I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit. So kind of pull it tight. If it needs to be a little bit smaller, I'll make it a little bit smaller. Pull it tight. And grab some scissors here, and I'll just trim the ends off, like so. Is that about how big I want it? Yeah, I think that's good. Need my glue dots. Got my mini glue dots here. Press my bow into a glue dot, and I'm just going to kind of right down there at the bottom. I've got to stamp my greeting on there. And you know what? Honestly, a greeting should have been stamped before I did all this. So we're going to be very, very careful and see if we can get this where we want it to be. I don't feel a dimensional under there, so hopefully we'll be okay. Oh, yay. Okay, everyone, don't do what I just did. Do your stamping before you put it together. Good grief. Our final touch is some of our black rhinestone jewels. I'm going to get a piercing tool here because I like to use that to help me lift them off the card because I have no nails. And so if I use something else, it's just helpful. So I used a piercing tool to kind of pick those little guys up, move them out of the way, stick them where I want them, and there we have it. Yay, it's done. So we've got our 2 fancy Merry Patterns cards. And I should tell you that that Merry Christmas greeting, that super cute little greeting, that came from the Seasonal Chums stamp set right here. And this is adorable, adorable. Let me just kind of throw in here a cute little project I made with that. This is a sneak peek from my daughter's swim team girls. We're going to be using, I'm going to give them these little treats. And there's the pumpkin, adorable. And then the cute little spider web and the bat and the straw. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. Okay, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for this. So if you enjoyed the card, please give the video a thumbs up. You know how much I love that. It helps me out and lets me know that you enjoy what I'm showing you. Also, subscribe to my channel down here in the corner if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. If you're looking for a demonstrator, I would love to earn your business at shoppingwithbarb.com. I do offer free gifts with purchase. So check that out on my blog. And thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.